But let's play, because you're beating the doo-doo out of me. You're beating the Iowa out of me here, Rutledge.
Can you believe it? I called that and I was right. Still tired from celebrating about the fact that I got that call right, that Iowa actually lost to Purdue. This college football season is starting to my favorite college football season, which was, of course, 2007, where I think Boston College and Matt Ryan were number 2 at some point. But, wild now. Of course, here are the standings I have for you, Connor, as we digest it. We're not going to spend much time talking about Georgia, not because we don't believe in Georgia, because, well, Georgia has proved that they don't need to be talked about. They deserve to sit there at number 1, and we're just going to let them do their thing. But the top 6, you have Georgia. Cincinnati is now number 2 in the nation. Oklahoma, followed by Alabama, Ohio State, and then an undefeated Michigan sits at 6th place. I would like to say and note that in the AFCA coaches poll, Oklahoma's number 2 and Cincinnati is number 3. So there's a little bit of split out there. But, Connor, who do you like there in that top 6?
I think obviously Georgia's got to be number 1. I think that's really critical. I think that Cincinnati, I've always been a proponent of teams from a group of 5 conference having to show their mettle over multiple seasons, to be in a playoff position. So I am very comfortable with an undefeated Cincinnati who has beaten Notre Dame and crushed UCF, which, UCF's no slouch, and Cincinnati crushed UCF this past week. I'm really comfortable with them at number 2. I think, who'd you say was 3 and 4?
3 is Oklahoma, 4 is Alabama.
I'm really comfortable with Alabama being 4. Or really, honestly, I'm comfortable with Alabama being 3. I don't believe in OU. I think when they go play Stillwater, play Oklahoma State, you can put it in writing right now. I'm going to be picking Oklahoma State to beat Oklahoma, as they have really struggled this year.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't believe in Oklahoma, and I don't. Oh, not only did I not get the first down, I threw a pick. I don't believe in Oklahoma either. I think they're way highly rated. I also don't understand why Michigan is so low rated as an undefeated Big Ten team. Now, they haven't had the go-around of the tough parts of the Big Ten.
Yeah, Michigan's still got to beat Michigan State, an undefeated Michigan State, and, that one-loss Ohio State team. So I think that they're still, Michigan still has the real teeth of their schedule to go through, which I think folks are kind of taking into consideration.
Definitely, for sure. I think college football is going to be an interesting. This isn't the big weekend for it. This is kind of a lighter weekend in the college football fair. As I look at the schedule, there's not too many massive games to talk about. In small news, tomorrow night, Coastal Carolina will play Appalachian State University in what should be a good, let me turn on some college football in the middle of the week game. That'll be a good time. Connor, who are you sort of watching this weekend?
Well, first off, as you know, I always watch the Wheaton College Thunder. Very excited for them. I think my big thing, and Rutledge, I'd love to hear some of your thoughts. I'm kind of looking at some of these one-loss teams, especially a team like Iowa that had that big loss to Purdue, kind of seeing how they're going to respond to what happened against Purdue. Looking at Alabama, seeing if they can continue what they're doing. Looking at Kentucky, seeing how they respond. I guess that's kind of the big thing for me. It's response weekend. Who's going to respond? How are they going to respond? And what are we looking at there?
I think the big first down. Is that a touchdown? That's a That's a touchdown. Nice touchdown run. I think the big one-loss team to watch this year is, or right now, of course, Alabama, because until Alabama has 2 losses, I think they'll always be considered in it. To me, the big one actually is Ohio State. You know, Ohio State did what I'm a big believer of in college football, and they lost early. They have, that loss to Oregon, and then doesn't hurt them as much in the long run, especially since they have, in 2 weeks, on the 13th, they're going to play Penn State. That's going to be, or on the 30th, they're going to play Penn State on Halloween weekend. And Penn State's right now sitting at number 7, so I think your one-loss teams to watch makes the most noise with a strength of schedule that could push them in the right direction. I'm taking Ohio State, as they have 4 ranked teams on their schedule, plus they have to play an Indiana team that is starting to get some respect out there. I don't know if your Purdue grad wife is going to appreciate that I said that, but IU is starting to get a little bit of respect in the college football world. It's not seen as just a slouch gimme game. The people are actually broadcast that thing now on TV.
Yeah, IU, last year they kind of had the better team, so they had a lot of big pub for this season. This season, it's not gone exactly as planned for the Hoosiers. With Ohio State, you're right, they did lose early. Now they are definitely desperate to make sure Oregon continues to play well. I think, any Oregon loss hurts Ohio State. If Oregon finishes with that one loss, that's really good for Ohio State. But, I could see, that Michigan State game being a really big game. And then, hey, if Michigan continues to play well, them coming in and playing Ohio State really tough, they're still, yet again, as I always like to say, especially the further along that the season goes, there is still so much ball left to be played.
Oh, absolutely. So much football totally left to be played as we continue to break down what is becoming a very enjoyable college football season. I like what's happening this year. But, it's still kind of anyone's season, but I think with anyone, it's still Georgia's season to lose, if you would agree.
Oh, very much so.
Georgia sits in the driver's seat. They have an extremely physical, well-recruited, bigger-than-me team, and it's their season to lose right now. Will they finish, or will they sort of live to their reputation about being a program that can't finish? I think, at least for people that are close to that program that watch it, that's kind of the naysayers of it. The rest of it still feels like Yahtzee, that we're just rolling the dice, we're filling out the scorecard and hoping for the best.
Yeah, no, Georgia has definitely been the team to beat so far this season. They proved that against Kentucky. Everyone thought it was going to either be Georgia or Florida that was going to get to play against Alabama, and it's looking like it's going to be Georgia that is going to be getting to prove their mettle against the Tide in the SEC title game. So, but you can never count Alabama out. You can never count Ohio State out. You can't count, or I guess you can count Clemson out this year. But, there's a lot of really quality teams still out there that are playing some really good ball.
Absolutely. Absolutely.